No.
All right, now we were going to check out one of your requests today, and you were talking about an Australian band, one of my favourite bands of all time.
I'm quite a Michael Hutchence fan. I think he was an amazing performer. I've got the DVDs.
Yeah.
And I think
Love it with
seeing
me.
as I'm in Australia, I think we should play an NXX song. NXS song. Original Sin.
Nice. Excellent. More Mika in a second.
It's not a particularly good video, but it's a good song.
Just close your eyes and listen.
I'm elegantly wasted.
Already? Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Hanging with Mika all show today, and you've been asked it a squillion times, but I have to ask it again. I just want to talk about influences, because obviously Freddie Mercury and Queen just gets bandied around all the time. And is it the kind of thing? Do you mind talking about that kind of thing, or do you get?
I don't mind. I think
No?
I'm a new artist, and people have to place me, and the easiest way to do that is to. I mean, it's a bit lazy, but the easiest way to do it is to compare me to other artists.
Yeah.
I'm not as Queen obsessed as people think. Even Brian May was a little bit surprised when we were talking. He was like, "Have you heard that record?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, right, you haven't heard all of them." I was like, "No."
Well, I mean, some of your songs sound like nods to other artists from the past. I mean, Big
That's
Girls.
completely unintentional. Well, Big Girls, for instance, Big Girl wasn't written as a tribute to Fat Bottom Girl whatsoever. I wrote Big Girl because I was sitting at home one night. It was 2:30 in the morning, and I was watching this documentary on obesity in the United States, and there was this comedian called Victoria Woods, and the whole program had quite a negative tone. And then suddenly she goes to this place called the Butterfly Lounge, and it was the first size acceptance nightclub in the world, basically a nightclub for fat women, and all the skinny women weren't allowed in, and these big girls were having the time of their life. And suddenly the whole documentary changed. It became completely energized and positive. And I was kind of touched by it. And my mother's big, and my auntie's quite big, and I was picked on as a kid because I used to be big. And I wrote the song in 15 minutes. I just saw this footage and I was like, someone has to write this place, like a theme tune. So I wrote, get yourself to the Butterfly Lounge, find yourself a big lady, big boy, come on round, and they'll be calling you baby. That's why I wrote it.
Yeah.
No, nothing else.
And then Relax, Take It Easy, is that any kind of like Frankie?
Nothing to do with Frankie.
But even though it reverberates the Relax a little bit. Like an echo, no?
It's just, I don't know. Coincidence. I just write. I write. Are there influences in there? I'm sure there are influences in there. Of course, if there are influences, there are always influences from different places. But are they conscious, calculated efforts to, reference other songs? No. Even though some people disagree with me, but that's fine.
Well, being such a prodigious songwriter, though, from so long, I mean, it's not a surprise that record labels tried to kind of mould you into something they wanted because they assumed you could write anything.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. I never thought of that. Even though I can't. I do one thing, I'm not that complicated or talented a songwriter. I just do my own thing. But they assumed, you're right, that I could just write that ballad,
Is it something where other artists are trying to get you to write for them now as well? Sort of after a hit record.
I get offers because I write a lot and I demo it, and often I don't use the songs, and so often artists will try and use the songs, but I'm pretty careful about that. On the one hand, I'm a working songwriter. On the other hand, I'm also an artist, and I have to make sure that the one doesn't affect the other too much. Although I just keep on writing. I write for the sake of writing. I don't write for the sake of pitching. I think that's important to remember.
Well, it's a pretty enviable place to be as well.
Well, no, I think that was just the way it was. Even when I needed to write for the sake of pitching, and my publishers, to clear up my publishing bill, would be very glad if I did write for the sake of pitching.
I can't believe that. £45 for an Orbit chewing gum commercial.
I didn't write it, I sang it, but still,
you sang it.
I mean, it's still, normally you get a buyout because when you sing on or speak on commercials, they don't want to pay you royalties, so they just give you huge amounts of money. I got 45 I just had no idea. I didn't have an agent, I didn't have a manager, and I wasn't doing it for money when I was a kid. I did that when I was about 13 years old. I did it for the sake of doing it. I did it just to get into the studio. I did it to get out of school. It was fun. It gave me a sense of worth. A sense of worth that wasn't dependent on money. It was just dependent on kind of like working and professionalism.
Excellent. Well,
which I don't have that much of, but at least I tried.
Well, you know, it just shows what you can do from such a young age. But,
or a bit chewing gum, and it's good for your teeth too. Oh my God, he's a prodigy. The boy's talented.
Nice. Well, BA came after that. Welcome back to Video Hits. We've got time for a little more Mika Love, talking about the album Life in Cartoon Motion. And I want to talk about your stage show, because you're coming out to Australia sort of, and you're playing a show while you're here. But is it just full of colour and sort of dancing girls and running around in a big band? Like, how does it work?
It's quite a colourful show. I mean, there's a show element to it. There's like there's some dancers, just like big girl dancers and crazy people dressed up as lollipop girls. And actually in Australia we've got lollipop boys dressed up as lollipop girls as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've got the lollipop girls in blue dresses and the girl lollipop girls in pink dresses.
So what's with the lollipops?
I don't know. There's a little cartoon character that I came up with.
Okay.
She's right here. And she's based on the song Lollipop, which is on the album. And she lives in the forest, gets chased around by monkeys who are after her lollipop, and she has no idea why.
Well, you know what she should really do?
What?
Is get a giant lollipop. Because we thought, because you love lollipops so much, we couldn't let you go without a giant Chupa Chup. That is for real, that lollipop.
Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy as in, like, actually heavy. That's insane. That's real. Can we open it?
Yeah, you can do whatever you like with it. It's yours now. That might take a while, though.
Wow, that's crazy. Where did you find this?
Just lying in a gutter outside. No, just kidding. Got given it. Well,
how long do you think it'll take to eat this?
It's gonna take quite a while, I think. Look at that. It's a bit of a scepter.
It's
as
real.
Well. Is it
like
strawberry?
some? You can have the other side.
I'll have a go on it.
That side.
It's good, isn't it? There you go. Well, Mika, we're going to leave you to your breakfast. Thank you so much for coming in. And you can beat away all sorts of paparazzi with that on your way out.